All right. No, Hey everybody, welcome to For Those About to Talk. Hit it, Jim.
Welcome. Jeff, James, and Trevor.
Hey everybody.
Our topic today is guilty pleasures. We all have them. And
Not sexual, music.
right.
Oh!
That's the other
Okay, wait.
podcast.
That's next
We
week.
did
Yeah.
a different. I gotta look up some other stuff. Okay,
Yeah, I'll be right
sorry.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as I was going through this, I was like,
I'm not taking off the G string, just so you know, regardless of. Yeah.
The word guilty pleasures, it could be something that you're not gonna let anybody know you listen to, which we're about to do.
Right.
So it could be things that are maybe laughed at, or I don't know. It was hard to make the list, basically.
Well, me and Trevor were talking about this before you got here, and he's like, guilty pleasures. I'm not guilty for shit. I'll listen to what I want. And I'm like, yeah, you go.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, my interpretation is what a strict hard rock fucking dude would just look at and be like, bro, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so yeah, a little bit.
And it's 'cause,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be embarrassed, but I'm like, I listen to what I listen
Exactly.
to. So.
And the other side of the coin is we're talking about a lot of metal and rock and stuff like that. And these might be artists that aren't that style.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. I
so
mean,
we're gonna go outside of the box today.
It's fun. It's funny for me because I think a lot of my guilty pleasures, when I think about it,
But
the
they're
things that-
actually good. Like
Well, they're all great.
Yeah.
In my mind, they are.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it stems from, for me at least, was the music that I grew up listening to, my parents' music.
Yeah.
Now, there was this real bizarre dichotomy that existed in our house growing up. My dad would be out in the shop listening to Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention and the Doors and Wings and the
Not my
band
house.
and all this, you know.
Yeah.
Then I would go into the house and my mom would be listening to a lot of Broadway show tunes and a lot of folk music. So I grew up listening to a lot of Cat Stevens and Harry Chapin and, you know, things along that line. And also she loved torch song singers. So there was Edith Piaf and there was Bette Midler and there was
Right.
Jane Oliver and singers like that. I love them. I love all of them. And as a kid, yeah, you know, when friends came over, I wasn't going to be whipping out, you know, my Buffy St. Marie album and listening to it. But when they were gone, I definitely was because I thought it was good shit. And I still do today. And if, depending on the mood, I'll pop some of that stuff on. Now, as an adult, you can fuck right off if you're going to make
Exactly.
fun of the music I'm listening to. In fact, I would encourage you to pop on some headphones and try it out for yourself because it's some good stuff. There's a reason why it's been around that long. If I'm in the right mood, I'm going to listen to, you know, the Music Man soundtrack or Annie Get Your Gun or, you know, any one of those things because I grew up listening to them and it takes me back.
Yeah.
Just like my kids, they love listening to Billy Joel because that was the music that we clean the house to on Sundays. Pop on Billy Joel's greatest hits and let's start vacuuming and dusting. And they like, my son says jokingly every time he hears Billy Joel, he's like, "Fuck, I got to vacuum. I got," you know, 'cause it's just like this primal thing that happens to him. But you know, so for me, you know, I can talk about a lot of that stuff, but I know for me, I know that this is definitely one of Jeff's.
Oh. Yeah. See, this was like, yeah.
No.
Oh, come on. I have seen you sing along to this.
No, I can sing along to it, but I choose not to.
Yeah. In the
Oh, you
bathroom
love me.
mirror.
Come on. All right, so give me a guilty pleasure and I'll pop it up here and we'll embarrass ourselves.
Well, I'll say this. You don't have to play this. But I will say when me and my wife get together and our kids are listening to ABBA
Huh?
in the car, and my wife's noticing that I know every fucking word, and she's all, what is going on, Mr. Heavy Metal? And I'm like, you don't understand how much ABBA I have listened to in my entire life. My dad, that was his number one music that he listened to all the time. He didn't like rock music at all. He listened to some kind of big band type music. He listened to Percy Faith. I don't even know, is that a band? Is that a singer? I don't even fucking know. But he always talked about Percy Faith.
Yeah.
But in the car with the 8-track tape, it was ABBA Greatest Hits all the time. So I knew all of it.
And is that something that you would say as comfortably as you are now, like in high school, to your buddies that are trading Motley Crue records? You know, it's like
No.
Yeah, of course not.
you're not going to
No,
bring that
I
up.
But you
bring
made
that
fun
up.
of it.
Yeah.
You would make fun if
No.
you ever went to a friend's house and found an ABBA record in their collection. You would tease them unmercilessly.
So another one, I in the car. This when we first got together, turn it up, singing along, and my wife's like, "Are you making fun of this song?" I'm like, "No, this is like one of my favorite movies. It's Up Where We Belong
Oh
with
my
freaking
God.
Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warren from Officer and Gentleman. One of the best movies ever made. I love it. But I, listen to freaking song.
This reminds me of every junior high school dance I went to back in the.
It's got to be REO Speedwagon. I don't know.
No, I mean they always play this. This
yeah.
is the slow dance song that they
Yeah.
played at all of the junior high dances. You know.
So my wife, when this song comes on, she'll make fun of me still, and I'm like, watch the movie. Watch the movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is a good movie. I haven't seen that in forever. I wonder if it still holds up. If I watch it today, if I would still like it. I'd just be like,
Fantastic.
Man.
You understand why Lou Gossett Jr. won Best Supporting Actor that year.
most definitely.
Fantastic. Sad, tugs at the heartstrings, action, awesome movie. Very funny. Parts. Jim has never seen this. Have you seen this freaking movie, Jim?
A long time ago, I was a little kid. If I watched it again, I'd probably actually understand it. But I know what you're talking about.
Joe Cocker was one of those ones growing up. My dad listened to a lot
I listened
of
to
Joe
Joe
Cocker growing up.
He's on my list.
I'll tell you one of the ones that on my list, and it's funny because when my dad was into rock, my mom would call acid rock. Your dad's listening to that acid rock, and she'd be inside listening to the folk music. But when they got together, the thing that they agreed that they could listen to was country music. So every road trip was Willie Nelson, or and I love it. Fuck you. If you're don't you dare.
I'm not a Willie guy. I like Johnny Cash, but I'm not Willie.
Love Willie Nelson. I will fight you if you say anything bad about Willie. No, Willie's great.
I like the Highwayman shit that they did.
That was really good.
Actually,
Yeah, that was-
Another
was
one
a
for
bit-
me is
yeah.
my dad had an old cassette that we would listen to of Marty Robbins' greatest hits, and so love me some Marty Robbins. I will still pop on, I'll pop on some for you guys right now.
One of the
because-
great golden voices.
Dude, Marty Robbins, I just remember it was back in the day when everything was sold by Infomercial.
Sure.
You could buy the Marty Robbins 4-album collection.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
No, if you listen to if you buy one Marty Robbins album, you can get a greatest hits or whatever, or go on Spotify, get yourself Gunfighter Ballads
Was
and
this an
Trail
El
songs.
Paso song?
Yes.
See, I know this.
Yes.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
There ain't nothing wrong with this. There ain't nothing wrong with
It's
this.
perfect.
Marty Robbins just, velvet.
Favorite Joe Cocker song, Feeling All Right. You can't not like that song. You can't. It's awesome.
Right, Jim, you're being awfully quiet. Time to embarrass
I'll
yourself.
just kind of feed into what we're talking on this topic. Dolly Parton was
Oh,
a big one
jeez.
in my house when I was a kid.
Yeah, you don't
That was
need
my
the sound
mom's
on
stuff. Yeah, it was Merle Haggard and Dolly Parton. I was like, I like this. Her early stuff is just so good.
She is.
I have not followed her,
Such a great
new stuff.
songwriter. Fantastic.
The old stuff is just great.
Way beyond icon.
And this would always be playing too.
Way beyond icon
Yeah.
with Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when I talk about soundtrack albums, country music, the soundtrack to The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is a great one.
Dude,
It's
I just
absolutely
watched that
great.
movie last
great.
year. I hadn't seen it forever.
It's funny as hell.
Oh, that's a great movie. When he goes off on Dom DeLuise's character with the worst wig ever.
Yes.
Yeah. And Charles Durning singing in that movie, doing a little
Song and
two-step.
dance, yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Jim
Dom
Neighbors
DeLuise-
is in it.
What's
Gomer,
that?
Gomer Pyle is
Yeah.
in that movie as well.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds and I mean,
Burt Reynolds even sings in that.
Is that what we're gonna decide it's called?
He's
His singing. No, I love me some Dolly Parton. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that at
yeah,
all.
it's good stuff.
And I think she's
If we're
she's
gonna
been
talk
popular
about,
for 50 fucking years. 60 years probably.
Yeah.
Really. I
Yeah,
mean,
for a long time.
amazing. find me another career that's lasted that long. She put out an album today and it would go fucking platinum. I promise you. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like the old early stuff she did.
Well, even the country stuff or even the poppy, you know.
Yeah, see, this I've never heard. It was always the early country stuff. I haven't heard her stuff.
So there was a time, Jim, in like around 1980, like with 9 to 5, she was all over pop radio.
Yeah, exactly.
She was. It was 9 to 5. Here I come.
Well,
again,
and then
here you go.
I
It
Will
was-
Always Love You, that ended
Yeah.
up being the Whitney Houston gigantic hit, but it was a hit for Dolly before that.
Yeah.
And 9 to 5 is such a good movie.
Oh, and that was
It's so
the song. Dolly sang it in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
She did.
At the end of the movie.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
great movie.
This is, yeah.
Yeah, we're playing it.
Don't say anything bad about Dolly.
it's
But yes, of course.
Now this comes on and people sing it just like if fucking Ghostbusters came on.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of Ghostbusters, there is one that I will say right now popped onto my guilty pleasures list right there. He got in trouble for stealing that song from Huey Lewis and the News. He ended up having to. It was basically
Oh, Ray Parker Jr.
Ray
is
Parker
that the-
Jr. He basically stole "I Want a New Drug." It's the exact same riff. It's the exact same everything. He just, you know, I can put them back to back here, and you'll be like, that was
No, his goes dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mine went dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
It's a cut and dry case of plagiarism, and he has to pay Huey Lewis money every time it gets played on the radio. But I loved Huey Lewis back in the day, and my
He
friends
was awesome.
unrelentingly gave me bullshit for listening to it, but I unabashedly listened to it, and I'll still listen to it.
I
think
didn't
it's
put
great
Huey
shit.
on my list because I'm just like, if you don't like Huey, you're not American.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, who else you got on your list there, Jeff?
Okay.
We're gonna dig deep
I'll
here.
kind of plow through them, and then let's see. But in honor of my first cassette tape, I got Duran Duran. I like Duran Duran.
Yeah.
If we're on a road trip, a lot of times we're listening because my wife will listen to a lot of country, and I could take about that much. And if it's not the country I like, then I'll put it on 80s. Like on Sirius Radio's 80s hits, because
Yeah.
we both like that.
Can't
And then,
go
if,
wrong.
and then if the 80s song on that is shit, then I'll switch it over to Hair Nation, because she likes a lot of that too, like if Dokken or something comes on.
Yeah.
So we'll go back and forth. Oh yeah. Perfect. Little Girls on Film, baby. I like Prince. Okay.
No, everybody likes Prince.
I like
I was like, I like chocolate ice cream.
I'll listen to, I like a good movie soundtrack. It could be, I'll listen to like John Williams' greatest hits. I have all those epic instrumentals. I like the Streets of Fire soundtrack, American Pie soundtrack. I'll find a good soundtrack and I'll listen to it. I like it. Let's see. If I get a little folksy, I like the Lumineers. I like a couple songs by Monsters of Men and Mumford and Sons. I like that.
Wait, what? All right. Okay. No judgment.
like
Judgment free
Okay,
zone.
but
Yeah.
of those, I really like the Lumineers. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know all their stuff, but Florence and the Machine, the one big song they have. What's the name of the damn song? They're huge songs.
You like that shit, and you don't like Pink Floyd?
Dog Days.
Yeah, Dog Days.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Every time that's on, I think it's just
They
awesome.
got so many. Good
Billy Joel's on my list. Big Billy Joel guy. I put John Cougar Mellencamp, like him. The Police, Phil Collins. If I'm feeling a little bit like nasty, I'll play Eazy-E or old Tupac. And from this song's perfect.
Yeah, she's so good.
From Thanksgiving to Christmas, I like Christmas music. Rat Pack, Christmas in the House. Country, I'll listen to Johnny Cash, Brothers Osborne, Chris Stapleton. The country that sounds poppy, I don't like that shit. I don't really like it at all.
I don't even.
Gimme George Strait or something like that, twangy.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Highwaymen, pretty good shit. I had Joe Cocker and I know it's Cotton Candy Rock, and I'm not a big Poison guy, okay? And if Every Rose Has Its Thorn comes on, I turn it. I don't like that song at all. But if Talk Dirty to Me or Look What the Cat Dragged In came on or Nothing But a Good Time, I'll turn it up. and I'm not switching the channel. I'll sing it, and then it's gone. And then the last one, and I think she's awesome. I like Adele. I think she is awesome. She's probably my music crush because you see in an interview,
amazing.
she's funny as shit.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So that's the stuff.
I've had this conversation with my kids a little bit, and I think Linda Ronstadt,
Oh,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Smoke Show.
Barbara Streisand, hear me out,
I didn't say shit.
Karen Carpenter.
He looks at me like I'm all judgmental because I am.
You are.
Oh shit!
I'm judging y'all so hard.
Yeah,
right
no.
You got me, you sneaky bastard.
You son of a. And Adele. I think those four have perfect voices. Perfect voices. You hear Adele. If it doesn't move you, you're a fucking statue. There's something wrong with you. You don't hear voices like that. You don't hear voices like Linda Ronstadt or Barbara Streisand. You make fun of Barbara Streisand all you want, and she deserves every bit of it. She can fucking sing. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, no, and Karen Carpenter.
Gold.
Fuck off
Pure
if you don't
gold.
like Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
I mean, that music is great fucking music.
Yeah.
It really is. It's bubblegummy and everything else. I don't care. She is amazing. She's got a perfect voice. So yeah, I'm not ashamed to listen to that at all. In high school, yes, of course.
Now, for me, I would say about 90% of the music I listen to is rock. 90%. But that other 10%, I'll just be in a mood. And I'm like, and it's Billy Joel's greatest hits. Listen to Piano Man. My favorite Billy Joel song is Allentown. Just love it. And that's that. I'll just listen to it for like 3 fucking days straight.
Yeah.
That's what I'll listen to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the perfect Billy Joel song is Vienna, followed by Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, and then everything else. But yes, I think for me it's Vienna is the perfect Billy Joel song. It's amazing. I got to see him play up at T-Mobile Park up in Seattle. Flew up there to go see him. It was worth it. He's definitely on our bucket list. And we're not going to fly out to New York to watch him play, so he was out here. Yeah. He had Jason Bonham open for him,
Nice.
which was crazy. He got the call the night before. He was like, "Hey, I didn't expect to be here either,"
Yeah.
and he fucking brought it, which was great. But Billy Joel was everything you'd want him to be. He sounds so fucking good, and every song, every fucking Billy Joel song there.
Yeah, he's
Everyone.
awesome. So
You a fan?
I need to go deep on him. I know the radio hits and stuff, but I've never
Sure.
gone deep on Billy Joel, honestly.
the radio shit isn't
it's
even
time.
the best stuff. I mean, really,
Right.
to me.
Yeah.
But
It's all good.
It
It's
is
all
all
good. But it's just he's a
Goodbye Saigon, pretty little,
brilliant
pretty little
songwriter.
tears in your eyes is a powerful song, really good. But my daughter Samantha, who's I won't say how old she is now because she just turned 30. Shit,
Shout out to Samantha.
said it. So when
delete
she
that,
was
we'll
a
edit.
teenager, she's really into music all the time. All my kids were, but she liked Billy Joel. And for, I don't know, 13th, 14th birthday, we took her moving out. The Broadway thing was here.
Oh.
You know, he wasn't in it, but you
Yeah.
know, it came here to the Criterion or Ginger Rogers Theater is now here in Medford. And wow, it was awesome. It was so fun. I hadn't seen a musical thing like that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's they started doing that a while ago where they would take songs from an existing songbook from an artist and then incorporate them into a musical. Which for me, growing up listening to musicals and loving musicals, was like, great, this is a marriage of, these two worlds. The first one I think was The Rock of Ages, which I think was terrible. But then they did like Mamma Mia, which with a bunch of ABBA tunes. They did the Carole King one, and Carole King is fucking amazing.
See, my family, we listened to, we watched the Rock of Ages all the time, the movie. The family loved it.
Yeah.
Just loved it. Now, and me growing up, Grease was awesome.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
Grease was awesome.
Well, who didn't have a crush on Olivia Newton-John when they were growing up, right? So, let me see. We can get a little Rock of Ages on here. I think we can. I want to go back to. Oh, so is it this one? Yeah, I've always kind of we go here. So this was the Broadway album.
Well, the movie's a lot different
Yeah.
than this. Yeah, see, this sounds like I'm watching Glee.
Yeah.
But I think this
Yeah.
this is what made Glee, honestly.
So
It was
probably
this-
so, but the movie's more more hard edge on the music, I thought, than this.
You don't like a Broadway cast singing Journey songs, do you?
No, that's like
Jazz hands? Come on.
Pat Boone when he did Just a Taste of Metal or whatever. When he did his
Yeah. Alice Cooper.
When he did Enter Sandman. Exit lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad. But it's worth a listen if you fucked up. I think it's awesome. And he wore a fucking leather vest on the album cover, I think.
Well, then
Just
that makes
brutal.
it okay.
Brutal. Well, in that case, you're a rocker.
Yes.
I like it.
So it's like George Lynch
Yeah,
playing
it
a little,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, I got one. Speaking of movie soundtracks, we're going on that. I'm gonna get excited if you guys know this, because I feel like I'm in a bubble with it, but there's a band called John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown
Of
Band.
course, yes.
And they do the soundtrack
Yes.
for a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the dark
Um,
side, one of the best songs
That is
ever.
one of the greatest, for soundtrack.
I got goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah,
That's great.
Beautiful.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
That whole album, I would run that
Fantastic.
through and through, like
Michael Paré.
Michael Paré.
And that brings me to his other movie that he did with one
Philadelphia
of the,
Experiment.
with one of the best soundtracks out there. I listened. Meatloaf did some of the music. Streets of Fire.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's got a big time operatic kind of
Yeah.
sound to it. And there's a couple songs on there that were huge radio hits, but it's good.
For the
It's
longest
really
time,
good.
I thought that the actor himself was actually singing it because he
I think
did
everybody
such a
did.
good job of lip syncing. And the other cool thing about that movie is that the writer or the director, one or the other, he was like, I want the band to sound like what Bruce Springsteen would sound like.
Oh yeah, nailed it.
And they nailed it, but in a very cool way.
Is this?
And when you listen to
I've never listened to this, just Eddie and the Cruisers.
very young Willem Dafoe plays the bad guy,
That's right,
and very
yeah.
young Diane Lane is hotter than shit in that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, she's hot now, but you know what I'm saying. And the two songs, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure Meatloaf had something to do with them. Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young, and there's another one that's a big epic type, bit slow intro. That's weird.
Jesus, I sense a pattern.
Yeah?
This
Okay,
is,
man.
This is it. And what's the? There's another one on there.
Let me
This
see.
is Tonight When It Means to Be Young. Nowhere Fast.
Okay.
See, he's making fun of me. See,
Yeah.
see.
I'm
I'm
enjoying
back in high school, son of a bitch.
You guys deceived me. I'm out of here.
How dare you? You said this was a judgment-free zone. It's not.
Right,
It's not.
I'm gonna shit talk you guys.
honestly, if this was judgment free, I wouldn't fucking
Yeah,
show up. You
yeah,
guys
yeah.
know that. Please.
I'm gonna back
That's
Judge
the fun
me.
in it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
I'm
fun.
gonna back up a little bit to Poison. So my introduction to Poison was I had some cousins that lived in Southern California, and that's where I would get all of my music stuff. They would be like, "Have you heard about this band, Great White?" And they would send me a cassette. And I would be like, all right, cool. And so it was kind of cool because I would hear about a lot of these bands before a lot of other people would. And so they were like, have you heard of this band, Poison? And I was like, no. So I heard some of it and I was like, well, I kind of like this, you know? So I was like, I need to go find this album. Now, it ended up going on to sell, I don't know, 8 million copies or something like that. But in the beginning, I went to the record store and I was like, I'm looking for Poison. And they're like, don't know what you're talking about, kid. So they had to bring out the big catalog and look through it, and they found it, and they were like, we'll order it for you.
Where were you living?
I was living in Denver at the time.
This is their first album.
First
Look
album,
what
and I don't
they
even,
did.
I don't even think it had really come out yet. And so they were like, oh yeah, we can get it for you. It'll be here in 5 days, kind of thing. And I put down my $8, and 5 days later, the cassette shows up, and I get the cassette, and I'm like, this ain't the right one.
Who are these?
So I'm like, who are
broads?
these girls? I was like, this is not what I was listening to. I was listening to like some rockers.
The worst part was the boner, huh?
And then
Yeah. Yo, oh.
That's not it's not my most embarrassing tug, but I'm gonna okay, all right, no, but anyway. But then I look at the back and I'm looking at the songs and I'm like, well, those are the songs, but why are these girls and it
You're
was
like,
like,
wonder if you're being punked.
yeah, but I was like, well, I pay for it. Popped it in the cassette player and listened to it, and I'm like, that's it, sure enough. When we were very first kicking around the idea of doing this little podcast, it was one of the things that you brought up, Jim. You were like, look, it would be really easy for us to shit all over bands like Poison, but let's not be that kind of a podcast. Let's keep it positive. And I'll say this, back in the day, if you were thinking about, I want to learn how to play guitar, Look What the Cat Dragged In was a great album to do that too, because you could learn those songs in about 15 minutes. I mean, it was real simple. If you knew a couple cowboy chords, if you knew how to do some bar chords, you could do all of that shit, and you could play along with it.
So they had
and so,
Brett, CC, Ricky
Rocket, and Bobby Dahl. Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, I'm so embarrassed.
What a duel.
Oh.
No, I mean, they're easy to make fun of course. It's rough stuff.
I have the
listen
first
to,
two
but
albums.
Yeah, I mean, this is a D chord. That's all this is. He's just playing a D shape on different parts of the guitar, and he's got it detuned, and it's so when you're like, oh, okay, I'm a fucking rock star. I can play along with this shit.
Put on your makeup.
Yeah,
Definitely. And the
stop jerking off, and start, put the album cover away, stop jerking off, and learn how to play this shit. But so I can give CC DeVille and these guys shit all day long, but you know what? They probably created 10,000 bands back in the day, so good for them. I'm not going to shit on them. Yeah, it's bubblegummy, it's poppy, it's super simple, but they're also fucking millionaires.
Cotton candy rock.
And
what it is.
we're sitting in my back room, talking about this shit. So who's the loser? This guy. No. So yeah, easy enough to make fun of them, but there were a million of them.
It's
back
all
then.
about guilty pleasures. I get it.
Yeah.
There were a million bands like this back in the day.
Yeah, a lot.
TNT and fucking Loz Rocket and just bubblegummy punk.
I always say 3 chords and a cloud of dust.
But no, I don't know. And I'll sing along with Every Rose Has Its Thorn I mean, it's 3 fucking chords. I'll teach you how to play it in 5
Yeah,
fucking
but I
minutes,
don't like the song. I just don't like the song. Skip. I don't like it at all. It just bores the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I feel about Theater of Pain.
No?
I love Motley Crue, and I love that album when it came out, but if I pop it on now, I'm like, nope, skip,
Give me some City Boy Blues, louder than hell. Keep your eye on the money.
I know,
Yeah.
Sign me
Use
up.
it or lose it. Yeah. Raise your hands to rock.
I know, yes.
Save our souls. I love that shit.
You have no shame.
Trevor's like, speaking of loser.
No, I loved it but I remember when it came out. We were all fucking waiting down there, and there it is. It drops at the record store, and we're all in line, and we run in, and we get it, and all of us. There's like 5 of us, with our denim jackets and our teased up hair and everything, and we like get this, and we're like, the fuck, like pink leather, like what? They're wearing lace. What the fuck?
Wait, where's the other one?
Because we're like, we go from Shout to Double where it's leather and spikes, and then you get that thing, and all of a sudden it's like lace and pink shit.
You go from looks to kill,
right,
video
to smoking in the boys' room,
which was huge. It was huge.
Yeah,
but that was in that prime video age where they try to be kind of funny, put in a school setting, and that was very popular. That video was on every fucking day, 50 times a day.
Yeah, it was huge. They were huge, but not a guilty pleasure. Everybody was listening to it back then. I'm kind of embarrassed at some of it nowadays, but no, definitely not back then. And the other thing is, I loved classical music, as a kid, and that was something that I definitely hid from my friends. But I'll still say to this day that the greatest piece of music ever written in history is Beethoven's Sixth Symphony. And it even has a Jeff intro on it. Listen to it. It's this slow intro, but it's
And Jeff knows what he's fucking talking
well, I guess he you know, he ain't
Not
no
this
fool.
Jeff. I'm sure there's a Jeff out there that knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, my idea of classical music is like the Gladiator soundtrack with the, you know,
Do you like gladiator movies, Jeff?
Ethics.
I like Gladiator a lot, but all that stuff I'll listen to. Like at work, I'll have the John Williams greatest hits going, have the Jaws theme going, little Jurassic Park, all that brings back memories. You know, they'd be like, oh shit, that's Superman soundtrack or Superman song from 1979.
He's the most recognizable artist in history. Yeah, I don't care where you're from. You can play the opening measure from Jaws, and everybody knows exactly who it is, you know what it is, and who it is. You can play the fanfare at the beginning of Star Wars. Immediately, you know,
Indiana Jones.
Indiana
That's a very-
Jones,
yeah.
Jurassic Park, Close
Indiana
Encounters.
Jones is my alert message on my
Yeah.
phone. Huh?
That you can play 5 notes, da, 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 and everybody knows it, you know. Or you can play 4 of them, and they can all tell you the 5th.
Yeah.
You know, that's how popular John Williams is. You can drop you into the fucking jungles of Africa, and they'll know John Williams. You know, I mean, there aren't very many artists out there like that. I'll say this, you know, extremely popular. Back in the day, though, if you were a metalhead and you got caught listening to Michael Jackson back in the day, that was an ass whooping, you know. Even if you could say, well, I just like it because Eddie Van Halen's playing the guitar. So, you know,
I know.
it was that. Wham, that was another one. If you liked Wham or George
No,
Michael,
no.
you know. But I'll tell you what, I can pop. You know, I'll pop. Let me see here. I'm sure I can pop on a Wham song and have you sing along with it.
I refuse. See, and that's the look you have to have with it. You have to do the snap and the permanent smile. My younger sister used to listen to them, and it was at a time when I was major. Anything that wasn't rock, it was shit. And oh my god, I used to make up my own dirty lyrics to all these songs, and she just like, oh, she gets so mad at me. It was beautiful.
This is one that I've always liked and was kind of embarrassed back in the day, but
This is awesome.
Bob Seger is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll say this: I want to do an episode on best slide guitar players
Yes.
because we can do Dwayne and we can do
George.
for sure. You know, I think
Derek Trucks.
Derek Trucks has
so
got to be
many.
way the fuck up there, but the slide guitar solo in Like a Rock is one of the best. It's a fucking amazing song. Love me some Bob Seger. Never seen him in concert. Wished I would have. I think he's done. I think he's retired. He's got to be getting up there close to 80 at this point. But god damn it, he's got a great
You know what
voice.
though? Yeah, but back to Michael Jackson. I think even then, I would respect how huge he was. I mean, he was. I mean, there wasn't a reaction like that since like Elvis and the Beatles. He was huge. I mean, huge.
Yeah.
Every tour was a hot ticket, and every video footage shows girls just bawling in the audience. He was huge as an
Boy,
entertainer.
they missed the mark on that one, didn't they?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. He's looking at your little brother. Anyway,
He owned like 3 decades.
Yeah.
He was like the master for 3 whole decades.
well, the
Oh
thing-
yeah, I mean, I think, you know, as a kid, did you watch the Jackson 5 TV show when you were a kid? So Jackson 5 when we were kids, and then he kind of disappeared for a little while. Then he came back with Off the Wall, and that was a big album. He was in The Wiz, and then he pops out Thriller, and that was unlike anything that anybody had
And the
ever
video was
experienced, ever.
gigantic. The 15-minute
Oh, yeah.
you know Thriller video. My wife last Halloween season we watched that video. She wanted to watch it, so we looked it up and watched the whole thing and brought back memories and stuff.
Eating the
It was
popcorn and
pretty cool. But yeah, and there was an animated version from that. She likes that animated movie Sing,
Yeah.
and they took those characters and they did a exact replica of the Thriller thing, and so we watched them back to back.
I have grandkids, and as a result, I've seen both of the Sing movies.
I've seen the first one apart.
I love them. I love the fact that my 2- and 4-year-old grandchildren know all the words to these great fucking songs. I love that. I love that it's, some things are cross generational. It doesn't matter, but to introduce them to that good fucking music right away at a young age, I'm so thankful for it.
I think the biggest thing about like Thriller and what was the one after that? Bad, like Beat It and stuff.
Yeah.
There couldn't have been 2 more overplayed albums, and every song was a single. So if you lived where I lived and you only had, you bought some music, but if you're listening to radio, it was just pop, and all those Michael Jackson songs played non-stop. So definitely a just overexposure, but talented for sure. I guess so.
Good in my mind. It was the one misstep in their career, The Astonishing,
Yeah.
and it was John's pet project,
Yeah.
and it was just all short songs, and it was just hard to really get a hold of.
It's not
but
that.
they reworked this song and had Lizzie Hale sing on it, and
I haven't heard this.
yeah. So it's James LaBrie and Lizzie Hale singing a duet. Not a guilty pleasure. I'll say another guilty pleasure. Love Buckethead.
Yeah.
She's got a great voice.
Yeah. I could have her sing
All of this
Just
stuff.
join the band.
Yes. 100%.
She
If
should.
they would have redone the entire album with
With
her
her,
singing
yeah.
the female parts,
Oh, I'd be doing backflips right
it would have been those two together. They sound great. James by himself, not so much, but Lizzie with James,
now. Yeah, that harmony.
yeah.
Killer.
Anyway, yeah, it's a little off the wall, Buckethead, but I love it. I think it's great. He's put out 800 albums now. I think he puts out almost an album a day. They're all digitally released. He calls them pikes. They're each about 30 minutes long, but he puts out about 200 to 250 of them every year, and they're all original music. It's all new. He does all the drum programming, the bass, and the guitar, and he just sits at his house and he just puts out albums every day, and every single one of them is fucking amazing. He is a huge basketball fan, so there's lots of recurring themes that go throughout his music. I'll pop some up here for you, just for those of you guys who aren't as familiar with him. Maybe I can play. Well, I think most people probably know Soothsayer. He just, let me see this. But he has a lot of songs dedicated to Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and he just has these reoccurring themes with basketball stuff, which is really great. But yeah, let me just look here real quick. I'll just because I'm not full of shit. Well, I'm full of shit. I am full of shit.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I wasn't gonna let that go.
Is his identity known yet? Or is it
Yeah,
still
he
a
is.
great
His
mystery?
Brian Patrick Carroll.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been out there for a while. There's some stuff with him on it. Buckethead discography. Let's see. The Pike series. So let me see. He's in 2013. He did 30. 2014. He did 78.
Full album.
2015 he did
Damn.
over 200. He puts these things out just non-stop, and you can see, so he's up to, this is his album number, just so you can see, he's up to 531 albums. Actually, 671 albums, but 531 Pike albums is what he calls them. And they're all 20, 30, 20, 18, 29.
Definition of a Pike album would be.
I don't know what it is. He just calls them Pikes, P-I-K-E. He doesn't, I don't know. There's got to be
He's all, it's my turn, bitch. I made it
Yeah,
up. That's
fuck
what it
you,
is.
It's a pike. What is it? It's a pike.
Sorry, I asked.
Yeah, sorry, Buckethead. Jeez. Yeah, incredibly prolific. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. 31 studio albums, 662 pikes, 5 special releases. So yeah, he's got 698 albums out. One dude.
Overachiever.
Yeah. Not a one of them gets played on the radio, but there's some dude out there that owns every one of them. I have like 3 of those out.
Yeah.
And where did you hear of him? I never heard of him.
He's just one of those guys that if you're in the know, you always kind of knew about him. Originally, he had a KFC bucket that he would have on his head, and the ghost mask kind of thing. And once he got a little bit of popularity, KFC came in and sued him, and so now he has a bucket that doesn't have anything on it, but he's still Buckethead, still wears the mask. His concerts are amazing because it's usually just him, and he'll go out there with a little drum program, and he'll just play a drum, and he'll just play the guitar, and then he'll stop and do nunchucks for a little while, and then he'll do some Tai Chi, and
So
then
it's
he'll
a
play
combo
the guitar
set of
some more. I mean,
entertainment.
he's just so bizarre.
And I know you
out
guys
there,
think
but-
I'm a little slow. I figured out why they call him Buckethead, just so you know.
Okay, all right, good for you, buddy. Yeah.
My mind went to all kinds of places. I'll be right back.
So that's definitely one of my guilty pleasures is Buckethead. Nothing wrong with this stuff. Yeah, so any more we want to finish with?
Where was I? Oh yeah, so Eddie and the Cruisers Part 2. You guys ever see that?
No.
I think.
There's a part 2.
Is it like Return of Eddie? He's not
Oh,
really
actually, I
dead.
think
It's
I might
actually
have seen
called
something.
Eddie Returns.
I haven't seen it forever.
Yeah.
I don't remember. The first one I watched.
First one's a
lot.
perfect movie, yeah. The second one, it's dated for sure, but the soundtrack is really good on that one too. It's more of that.
Did
early
John
90s.
Cafferty do the?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they brought him back for that.
Yeah, they just kind of redid everything. The music on that is good, surprisingly. Speaking of like show tunes and movie, Phantom of the Opera soundtrack was huge when I was a kid in the house, and to this day I could put it in and be like, still good.
Pick one you want. Let's pop one on there.
Oh yeah. It's
I think my wife's favorite soundtrack is Greatest Showman.
Oh, that's a good. It's a great.
She loves it. She plays it all the time.
Yeah, I thought that was a. I had a bunch of people I worked with. They were like, "Have you seen this Greatest Show movie?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "You're gonna like it," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then it came out, and my wife's like, "Do you want to watch it?" I'm like, "No."
This is sounding a lot like the conversation I had with my fucking wife.
And then it pops on, and I'm like, fucking glued to the TV. I'm like, "This is amazing!" And what the hell? What are they, so yes, yeah. Sorry, not sorry. You loved it.
My wife made me go to the theater and watch it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good." I'm like, "But I can't get over the bearded lady." I'm like, "It's a shave. It grosses me out." She's like, what is wrong with you? It's a bearded lady. I'm like, "Yeah," but
Come on, admit it.
But the soundtrack, no,
You wrote one out. Come on.
Yeah, because Hugh Jackman's hot. I don't know what to tell you. But no, so she listens to it all the time. The movie was good, but
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with that at all. You know what? Bottom line is, like what you like, and don't be embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
You know, let your freak flag fly. Be proud of it. What else you got for us? I'm not going to complain listening to Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, it's pretty
Seriously,
good.
it's-
I came up on that. It's pretty good.
So this is the sort of stuff that was in your house growing up?
My mom and dad had that, and it was like, oh, I like this. If this is what we have to choose from,
Mm-hmm.
it was like Dolly Parton,
Mhm.
this.
So you
But
weren't
yeah.
listening to top 40 radio growing up?
Not really. I mean, if we were in the car, it was whoever mom and dad decide is playing.
Yeah.
It's when you get to a certain point and you have your own money that you can go out and do whatever the hell you
yeah,
want.
Do you remember
But
the
before
first
that-
album you bought with your own money?
Zeppelin 4.
Wow,
Yeah.
you went right
I
into
knew
the
right
deep
what
end
I
of the
wanted.
pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, good for you,
Yeah.
man.
I'm rolling out with Duran Duran, Girls on Film, and he's like, Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Mine was Elton John. Honestly, back
Yeah.
in the day, I think it was,
I like Elton John.
who doesn't? I mean, seriously. He's got a new album coming out
Yeah.
with Brandy Carlisle, who I fucking
Oh,
love
yeah.
as well.
That was.
She's amazing.
She he's a huge influence on her. She's good.
She's great. Her new album is fucking amazing.
She's
All of her stuff
everything.
is.
Yeah.
I think she might be getting a little oversaturated right now, but I'm okay with that for
Yeah.
now. Honestly, she's got the chops.
When her first 3 albums rolled out, she wasn't big, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then she blew up. It was crazy.
It was the story. That was the one that just
Probably, yeah, because
into the stratosphere. But speaking of the Highwaymen, she's doing one. The Highwaywomen, I guess it is, that she's doing with a bunch of ladies, and that's some good stuff too, man. It's really, really
is
good.
Tanya Tucker gonna be on?
No, I don't
I
believe
know
she is.
I know that they're friends, and she looks
Yeah.
up to her a lot.
She's doing a lot of stuff with Joni Mitchell.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know Joni was doing anything. I thought
Well,
she
she's
was,
starting to come back. She had her stroke.
Yeah.
And but I guess she's getting more active. She's doing some performances. She's not playing anymore, but but she's, yeah. And she's a fucking genius.
She's a legend.
She's a 1-of-1.
Yeah.
1-of-1 for sure.
Hearing her talk about songwriting is just a pleasure. Okay, so earlier we were talking about female singers. I have to throw Sade in there.
Oh,
She's just good. It's chill,
Is that the Smooth Operator chick?
Yeah, that's one everybody
That's the
knows.
only song I know.
But yeah, you can go down and be like, oh, these are all pretty good. Yeah, that one.
it's just smooth. This is Lower Lights. Put this on. You'll do well tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, just let it go. It's the whole vibe.
For me, that would be any Isaac Hayes album.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
that
just
vibe.
this is made for
Yeah.
one thing.
It's a summer night. There's a candle right there. Yeah. Bottle of wine.
Putting on some hot buttered soul, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys about this one coming up. Crimson Glory, they're a metal band. They wear masks. I've always kept them secret, and I put it in. And they're singing about dragons and stuff. So I'm like, I've been made fun of for listening to that before, And so I was like,
In this room.
I gotta hide. Yeah, yeah. I could feel it.
Wait,
No,
what's the name of the group?
Yeah.
Crimson Glory.
Crimson Glory, you never heard of them? They were
No.
they wore the masks and all that stuff. Let's see if I can pop
They're
them.
pretty badass, but yeah, I got tormented for listening to that.
They were here today, gone later today, kind of thing.
I watched
you
the
know?
thing with like the top 10.
That one.
Oh, this one.
That one was pretty big.
Where dragons
Yeah,
rule,
yeah.
baby. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
It's a thing. And then his voice is different. It's
well, there's
it's
movies on
way
the
out
album
there.
covers.
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Yeah, Jeff,
I'm
Yeah,
in.
check that
you need a
out.
minute?
Yeah.
Maybe.
30 seconds? Let's be real
Yeah.
here. Come on.
You got a screensaver on your tablet, right?
But yeah, his vocals are just a little make people uncomfortable, I think, because he sits so high.
Not King Diamond.
I was just gonna say, like King Diamond.
It's really close.
It
Check
is.
it out.
It's-
It's crazy. But yeah, I had to hide this or listen to it by myself. Yeah, it's really
Just hold that note as
Yeah.
long as you can.
it's just all exaggerated.
Kind of that Swedish metal kind of sound that was coming out of there at
Yeah.
that time, where it was like very operatic.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, there were a few of them like that back in the yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Who else we got? Kingdom Come.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know a lot
you
of
go.
people
Get it
talk
on,
shit.
baby.
Yeah. A lot of people talk shit. At least, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, they're just trying to
Or
rip
they're
off
ripping-
Led Zeppelin.
But I'm like, dude, they're just badass. I
It
don't know what
is,
the
it
big
is
deal
what it is. This is how they
Yeah.
And if you're gonna try to imitate a band, why not imitate Led fucking
Exactly,
Zeppelin?
exactly. And they even have like Scorpions vibes in there too on the later stuff.
Now listen to it.
They were badass, but I couldn't listen to her own
Get
people.
it on. Great guitar riff.
Yeah,
Did you ever listen in this moment?
yeah,
She's great.
yeah.
I did, yeah, some of the stuff that they're, yeah. But
What else you got, Jim? Jimmy.
Oh yeah, that was that King Diamond note. Just something. One of the more known guilty pleasures, I think, for a lot of people, and it's two bands that get a lot of shit, and you guys will know. It's Creed and Nickelback. Like, yeah.
no.
You guys have a great night, and
Have a nice evening. This is our last show.
yeah. I know. See, it's like, see what happened in the room. So
No.
I just want to talk about it because, you know.
When it was,
Yeah, I
when
will
it was
skip
popular,
this song all day.
When it was,
I can't take it anymore. But they do
well,
have
they
good stuff.
they ended up becoming
Right.
Alter Bridge,
Which is amazing.
fucking
That's
incredible.
epic.
So
yeah.
amazing musicians, amazing song.
Yeah.
It was great stuff back in the day. It just got over. It was just
Exactly.
overdone, and it was the same thing
Exactly.
with Nickelback. One comedian decided to make Nickelback the punchline of a
Yeah.
joke, and
Yeah.
it ruined their fucking careers. But they were fucking bigger than big, and so was Creed. You know, so
From what I heard, both of those groups are touring right now and doing well.
And successful, yeah.
They were talking about it on the radio the other day that Creed's making a comeback. I like both of those groups. I listen to both of those groups. My wife absolutely loves Nickelback. And
I'm not like a huge fan. They do have songs that I like, but they always come up, and I thought, let's talk about it this episode. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, Creed did give birth to Alter Bridge,
Yeah.
which is freaking amazing. Like this is cool, but you know, if they're gonna play it 150 times a day,
Yeah, it was
I'm
just
gonna throw up in my mouth.
oversaturated.
and
It
it's not
wasn't-
the band's fault.
Right.
But I never understood all the hate. I'm
Yeah.
like, they come out, they rock, they have some like good like
They were easy to make fun of. They were Canadian. They were, you know, kind of caught up in. I mean, that's sort of like Limp Bizkit, you know.
Right,
They,
exactly
you know, it
that.
was like at first they come out, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is different. This is new," and then it was like, "No, this is fucking."
they were huge for a reason because everybody liked it,
Yeah.
and then overnight they
Well,
they,
and they
turned
were,
on them.
yeah, it was just really like a 2-year career. But it was
Yeah.
like when you listen to something every day for 2 fucking years, it gets kind of fucking old, you know. And so that's what happened. If you listen to it now, it's a little bit nostalgic, and you're like, oh, I remember liking this.
Yeah.
Like Nickelback or with Creed, you're like, I remember liking this back in the day.
Now,
but it
now
was-
when you listen to Creed, you try to sing like Scott Stapp.
Right, that's the
I do.
Yeah.
I try and I try to do the, you know, the.
no, we've already established that sound like a cat with a blowtorch.
No. I didn't,
try to
say
sing,
I
so-
sound good.
No.
I say I try to imitate the way he sings. And I'm pretty sure I sound great when I do.
No.
Yeah.
But you can't
Have you ever
help
done that
but
thing where
sing
you're
like
like,
him.
you really let your guard down, you're driving down the road, you're singing at the top of your lungs, and then all of a sudden something happens to the radio station and it stops and you can actually hear yourself and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm
really,
alone.
really bad. I'm really-
Remember in Ted when he's making fun of how everybody sang back then? It was Scott Stapp and it was talking about Hootie and the Blowfish and all that.
Yeah.
But I try to do, I can't help it. I just try to
Yeah.
sing like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, next
It
thing you know,
works.
you're singing, you know, with
It's a good
arms wide
technique.
open, and
Yeah.
you've taken your voice to a level that you didn't
Yeah.
think you
You're
could
like,
do.
Hey, I'm pretty good.
Well, speaking of which,
Yeah,
this
see,
album was
they played this
probably
a
one of the
lot.
biggest fucking albums of all time.
It's
Seriously, I mean, I think it sold like 12 million copies
Yeah.
or some 18 million, some ridiculous amount. This was everywhere and it was huge. But by the time the second album came out, people were done with it.
Yeah.
They moved on. It was sort of like back in the day when like the Squirrel Nut Zippers and the Cherry Poppin' Daddies and Mambo Number 5 shit. You know,
Yeah.
it was like that 1 year where it was like super popular, and then it was like by the time their second albums came out, it was like bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, during that time, that's when I was like a teenager.
Uh-huh.
That's when I was listening to like Crimson Glory and Kingdom Come. I didn't go to, but if I turned the radio on, it
was
that,
on.
and it was like, what is
I love that.
what is
I
it?
love that Les Paul tone he has.
Yeah.
on this. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Nothing wrong with it. Sorry.
No, I think this album's great. There's a song in there, what, Running to an Angel or Running from the Devil or whatever.
Yep.
Great song. That's my favorite song on the album. His vocals are cool in it. Good song. I like this song.
Not embarrassed. Not ashamed at all. So,
No.
guilty
I
pleasures.
listen to this song quite
Guilty
a bit.
pleasures. Embrace your guilty pleasures. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So, anything we want to close with? I think we could do this all fucking
Oh,
night.
yeah,
This is going to be a long
Shit,
one.
we're at 3 hours right now.
Okay, guys,
yeah.
let's talk about Bette Midler.
Don't you say anything wrong about
You
Bette
mentioned
Midler.
it, and I was like, I do
Dude,
love her voice.
we're not
I really
talking
do.
about the Beaches soundtrack. I'll fucking tap out of that.
Hey, there's some
I mean-
good songs on that. When they're doing it at the Hollywood Bowl at the end of the movie,
Yes.
I was like, that's a good song.
I just gotta
Yeah.
vote it.
But yeah, I know.
She does a cover of a Marshall Crenshaw song, A Favorite Waste of Time. Have you ever heard that? You know who Marshall Crenshaw is? You ever see that movie La Bamba?
Yeah.
Right?
Long time
He's
ago,
the
yeah.
guy who played Buddy Holly in it.
Oh.
And they didn't have to do any makeup. That's what he looks like. He's
Yeah.
basically a Buddy Holly kind of guy.
Yeah.
But he did a song called Favorite Waste of Time. And on his version of it, it's just him. See, maybe I can pop it up. Might not be able to.
See, I'm sitting here singing along with Hootie. Love this song.
Yeah. This album really did take over.
So this was his version of it. If it pops up on here. And this is literally
I like
him
it.
all by himself.
Yeah.
And he just did.
Who is this?
His name's Marshall Crenshaw. And
I haven't seen La Bamba since it was in the theater in the
Yeah.
late 80s. Was it like 88, 89 or something?
80s, yeah.
yeah.
Blue Diamond Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
This is great,
Yeah, this
right?
is
All
good.
of his stuff is great. Listen to it, do yourself a favor, Marshall Crenshaw. But then Bette Midler gets a hold of it. And just those vocal harmonies and just love it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
It is definitely a guilty pleasure. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
a whole lot of people
It
like
sounds
this
like
song.
it sounds like old 50 or 60
It
song.
does. It has that.
But I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that
I'll listen to
definitely sounds
Bette
like
Midler
something
all
from the 50s.
fucking day long. Seriously. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem with her. at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if she's doing her 50s doo-wop shit or her,
Yeah.
you know,
She's
wind
got
beneath
power.
my wings, don't care. I don't fucking care. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's
That
amazing. She
voice.
could sing the fucking phone book and
Yeah,
I would
she's
buy it.
golden.
So, yep. All right, guys. We got to wrap it up on that note. Did we get all of them?
No, we might have to do a part 2 down the road
Shit.
sometime and just talk about
Listen, like, subscribe,
Yeah.
tell us what your guilty pleasures
Yeah.
are, tell
Yeah.
us who we missed. Because this is what I love getting turned on to new shit.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I'm gonna honestly listen to some Crimson Glory after this.
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
cool.
in the day
It's cool.
I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
The first 2 albums were really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And that fucking John Cafferty and Beaver Brown Band. I haven't listened to them in a long time, but I loved it back
I'm
in the
gonna
day.
pop that
Awesome.
on. That's
Awesome.
so
And
good.
catch that movie if you haven't seen it.
It's so
Eddie,
good.
Eddie and the Cruisers. Yeah.
That's the movie you gotta watch twice. It's like you can finish a movie and then you're like, I'm gonna watch that again because it's that good.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
It is.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you for
everybody.
joining in. We'll talk to you next time.